Hey guys, it's Kasia here again, and today I have for you a medicine related video which I didn't do forever, and honestly I really wanted to do one, but I never knew what topic may be interesting also for the people who don't study medicine. However, since I have only a couple of weeks left, I actually finished my whole university med student experience, I decided it would be only right to still make a video since I am still a student. And I thought it may be quite interesting for you to share with you some of my experience regarding the med student style and the things you can actually wear and the things you can and maybe clear out some misconceptions or myths that I heard myself before I even started studying, or maybe take a bit of this glamour veil that you can see on Instagram or TV series or movies from the actual hospital life. So if you're interested, just keep on watching. So starting off with nails, I actually myself heard from some people that once you start studying medicine you won't be able to paint your nails, or you have to have them, like short and ugly and all of this stuff. And honestly, through the 6 years of medicine, I only had one situation and one clinic that really asked us not to paint our nails and to keep them short, and it was neonatology unit. And honestly, I totally understand, because if I was a mom myself, I wouldn't like, 5 medical students to touch my infant with, like long sharp claws. So I found this rule totally understandable, and I don't really think anyone minded keeping their nails, short. And I know you definitely could have a clear nail polish, they just didn't want you to have, like dark colors for, 2 weeks or even a week that this clinic lasted. But except for this, I never heard myself anyone even making any comments on anyone having their nails painted or their nails too long or any of this. However, not only me, but I think many people discovered that as long as you can have whatever nails you want on, psychiatry, or in what other clinics you don't even touch a patient, radiology. But in any clinic that you actually examine a patient, I just don't think it's comfortable both for you and for the patient to, examine their abdomen, for example, with your nails really long. So for me myself, it wasn't a problem. I never really liked my nails long, but if you do like your nails quite long, I guess it may be a bit of a pickle here and there. So as far as the hair problem is concerned, I honestly saw both doctors and students wearing their hair loose, and nobody usually really bothers. However, there were some single clinics that actually ask us to wear our hair up. I honestly really like wearing my hair loose, and I often do, but just like with the nails, at some point you just discover that it's just much less of a nuisance to actually put your hair up and don't stuck them in a patient, in wounds, tangled with your stethoscope, or basically putting it in a places which are not really clean, and it's just not really hygienic, and it's just not comfortable when you lean on the patient and your hair is like on them. So I heard maybe once or twice someone telling us to put our hair up. It's also not any sort of a rule that someone will stand on you and, tight your hair. It can happen, but most likely you will discover that it's just not comfortable. And as long as the clinic, again, is not psychiatry, it's probably better to put your hair up whenever you know that you're gonna examine patients, for the sake of your own hygiene and your own hair. And when it comes to clothes, it basically seems that you can wear anything you want, because you can. There are not really any rules or something that you should not wear. Of course, there are clinics where you need to put scrubs, but in most of the clinics you just put your white coat on whatever you're wearing and nobody ever cares. However, there are some clothes, and I learned it myself, that are just not worth wearing to the hospital. First is white collar whenever you have any kind of surgical clinics. So as long as you are just in a, I know, internal medicine or any type of places where people generally don't have wounds, it doesn't really matter what clothes you're wearing, because the likelihood that you will get something on your clothes is really low. However, when you have any type of surgical department, it may happen that you will be asked to, for example, clean the wound or help with dressing the wound, or if you go to any type of a procedure, they may ask you to clean the surgical field or any of this stuff. And you may not know, but one of the most common disinfection product is iodine, which, as you can see, has a brownish yellow color and is a disaster to get off your clothes. And obviously I'm not even mentioning getting blood or any other human fluids on you, because it's also possible, just probably less likely, but also possible. So if you know that you will have any type of surgical department and there is a risk of you getting asked to help with something, it's not a good idea to wear some new clothes or really light clothes or the clothes you really love, because it just may end up badly, and it actually did end up badly for me once with my new jeans. The second thing is wearing short skirts or dresses. And I generally don't wear really short stuff, I really don't think I am. However, I found that feeling of shortness really depends on what you're doing, and when you go to the hospital and you suddenly have to bend over the patient and examine them, everything that is above your knee is suddenly dangerously going up, and you usually have like a bunch of students behind you and doctors, and it may get really uncomfortable. So this is also something that you should pay attention to. And the third thing, which I don't know if it will apply to all the departments in the world, but it applies to my personal experience, is that some of the hospitals, and I really want to highlight the pediatrics ward, are basically an oven. And basically for all the weeks or sometimes months that I had any classes in pediatrics department, whether it was autumn, winter or early spring, I was always wearing tank tops or t-shirts or the lightest possible clothes I had, because it's just boiling. And you always need to take into consideration that whatever you wear, you need to put your white coat on. So wearing a sweater or like a sweater-like shirt ends up with you just boiling and sweating and wanting to die. And I honestly found it the most annoying thing ever on any kind of pediatric classes, especially in winter, because it's so cold outside, but you have to basically wear 5 layers of clothes, because the last layer needs to be really thin so you can put your white coat and don't die. So when it comes to shoes, I was honestly really surprised, because when I was just starting medicine, I bought some really hospital shoes because I thought that everyone is wearing hospital shoes, and then I saw that many doctors are just wearing the shoes that I guess they decided they are their hospital shoes, but they are not really hospital shoes. They are just wearing basically whatever they want. So it's generally a really chill out topic. Nobody would really pick up on your shoes as long as you're not wearing boots, let's say. However, again, as with the clothes, I would advise you to not wear your nice outside shoes, because you never know what will be on the floor. And surprise, surprise, I don't think I saw any surgeons, or maybe I did, but it was like single ones, that would wear the famous Grey's Anatomy trainers or any, I don't know, Adidas or something like this, because honestly, why? How do you even wash them? Like, seriously. And obviously as a student your risk for, you know, stepping into something or having blood on your shoes is really little, but when you're actually a doctor, I guess your shoes get dirty all the time, and how do you even handle it if they're trainers? So at least in Poland nobody wears trainers. Maybe I'm, you know, totally wrong and in the United States everyone does. You can let me know. Maybe just Poland is weird. Honestly, I never really heard anyone having any issues with students wearing bracelets or, you know, rings or something like this. However, you do use a disinfection fluid a lot, and it's not necessarily the nicest thing to put on many stuff. Like, it literally once melted my nail polish. So you may need to take it into consideration that maybe if you put it a lot on your jewelry, it may in a way affect it. And finally, the one thing that doesn't really bother anyone and is not really a problem is your makeup. So I think you can feel free to do whatever you like on your face, as long as, of course, you have a power to actually do your makeup in the morning when you have to wake up so early, usually after studying the previous day. So yeah, that would be all for this video. I hope you found some of my experience quite interesting. If you did, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I just wanna apologize in advance that there probably won't be a new video next week due to my exam, which, as I said, I'm now finishing medicine in general, and I just have my final exam of the university in 2 weeks, which sounds so horrible, and I just know I won't be able to make a new video a couple of days before the actual exam. However, there will be a new video in 2 weeks, definitely, hopefully in a summer holidays vibe already. And also there might be a little surprise on my channel next week. It won't be entirely a new video, but there may be something else, so stay tuned for this, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in 2 weeks. Bye!